They say there'll be more resources on the road, but we've already proven, and we've told them that we've looked at their rosters in a real work environment, and they're taking resources away. In some areas, their working models don't even recognise the current staffing crews at some stations.
I'm really concerned currently, particularly as a station officer, when I come to work, at the concerns, the level of angst, the confusion that's been created by our management with the staff that work so hard to provide a good service to the public.
I understand that the service need to save money, and I'm happy to change my roster in a way that would help that, but not the rosters that are being proposed. I think they're just going to affect me in a very detrimental way. I'm quite worried about them, to be honest.
I would consider the fact that whilst you're trying to save money and under the guise of cutting officer fatigue, I think we all know that it's not actually going to do that. I think the big picture is that if we're fatigued, our patient care will suffer, and that's not fair that the communities up here don't get an optimal service provision.
To the ambulance services to maybe stop and reassess where they're going with these rosters. They're telling us that they're based on fatigue. Then we're also being told that they're based purely on budget reasons. We need to stop, look at consultation, look at alternative rosters definitely, look what we think is maybe going to work.
Come and work in our shoes for a while. I'm sure some of those guys have worked the stations and they do realise, and whether you forget it or they've got to toe the management line, but yeah, I'd like to know why they're doing it. They know what it's going to do to us. They know what these stations do. So yeah, why are they going to introduce something that's going to make us unhappy, increase our fatigue and decrease our productivity?
It's unrealistic, and I think they are going to lose a lot of valued staff, which they don't seem to be valuing. Our community seems to hold us in high regard, and our management appears not to share that same view, and our wellbeing doesn't seem to be at their foremost thought.
I'm totally dumbfounded as to how they can come up, on one hand say that they care about us, in another hand, by introducing a roster such as this, shows that really they do not have any regard for our health, safety or wellbeing. They can claim it, but they certainly do not show it.
I've stated to Mr Willis that if this goes ahead, he's going to lose an awful lot of people, and I can't make any sense of that whatsoever.
New South Wales Ambulance Service has got such a good name around the world as, I think the second largest ambulance service, and held in really high regard. And it's an oversight from management to try and stretch the cloth too thin to get this in.
Look, we're ready to consult. We realise there's a budget there, and there's a fiscal responsibility. We want genuine consultation. We don't want to be just told and tick boxes so we end up in the Industrial Relations Commission. Let's talk about stuff, and the paramedics out there are willing to talk, but in a genuine consultation process, not what's going on at the moment.
I'd like to have an input into how these rosters are developed, and work with them to try to find a way that we can save money but also can have a life at the same time.
Treat us with some dignity and start looking at solutions rather than, forcing unreasonable expectations on your staff.
Have a look at the way things are working here, particularly in Murwillumbah. We have a good roster, we have low sick leave, we have low fatigue. The job gets done, and I would suggest that we would ask them to just leave us alone, to get on and do our job as we've done for years.